I got pink BMW right here. Alright guys, so once you take the intake manifold on these cars, 2 hoses you'll have to replace, most definitely. You may be able to pull it off without replacing them, but most likely if you have a higher mileage car, you're probably going to have to. I'm going to show you how to do that. Once we have the intake manifold off, it's really hard. You can get them from the bottom. I did that, kind of didn't work. The hoses were too brittle, so the push connect end wasn't that well. I contacted my customer and he was like, well, we'll go ahead and replace. What I'm going to show you right now is when you take the intake manifold off. So these are the hoses. Make sure your hoses go back to the same location. You got 3 heater wires. One goes to the CCV diaphragm and then 2 for the other hoses. I highly doubt that it's going to matter where you put the heater wires, but we're going to try to keep them in the same spot. So you just pull on that. Alright, so the short wire goes to the return line, which is back to the oil pan. It's the return line. And this end goes to the bottom of the CCV right here. So the bottom one, like I said, it's going to be the one. I'll also put the part number on the screen, but it's the one with the shorter cable, and it goes to the third connector. So third connector is the return line that goes from the bottom of the CCV to the oil pan. Second one is the one that goes to the valve cover. So we're gonna replace that as well. This one is easier access except the heater, so I'm gonna have to put that on as well. Best method of installation is gonna be that. And then this end goes here. Can you see it? Let's see. Alright, the other end goes to here. It's going to be a tight fit. I have to get it right. And I'm pretty sure I can play with the angle of how it goes there. And then, shittiest part is, the other end of this is going to be right here. It is right there. That's where the other end of my return hose or return line goes to. So you just gotta, make sure everything is clear, and then you got everything right. Replace your intake manifold gasket. If you don't know how to do that, check out my video. We've already replaced him on this guy, but I guess I can show you. They're just rubber O-rings, and you just pull them off with a pick tool, pop the new one back in, and you're good to go. So I popped it in there, and I can move it. So this end of it, I can control where it goes. I'm going to eyeball it. It looks like it's going to go this way, because that hose over there is pointing in an angle, so I'm going to leave that in an angle. I'll put a link in the description for these parts, like I said. And right now, I think just to be safe, because these are plastic and I really don't want them to break, I get my parts off of ECS Tuning, really good site, check them out. So the best thing to do that is I'm gonna put a bungee cord around these 2 cables and put them out of the way. And that way there's nothing in my way when I drop the intake. Now everything is out of the way. That third cable right here is going to have to be connected to this guy right here before we wrap this up. See, we got 1, 2, 3. This is the inlet that comes from the junction box, which is this cable. So it powers everything up. So make sure that's connected. Your heated lines are not going to work. So make sure that's connected. From there, let's make sure all the wires are out of the way. Don't forget about this guy. This is the purge valve for the tank. So make sure that's connected. It's got a vacuum line and a connector. So we're gonna go ahead and install it. Alright, so the best way to do this is to keep the valve cover ventilation hose off the CCV, because if you put it on, it's going to be in the way, almost impossible to put back on. So you leave both ends off, you just connect the wire for it, and then once you put everything back in place, see, I was fighting with it, so once you put everything in place, you pop both ends in. Now I popped the end to the valve cover in. I'm just doing this side to the intake manifold or the CCV itself, but I just need a dab of oil to put on the hose so I can, you know, slide it in easily. So I got my friend here. That's the best thing to do when you have plastic on plastic. Pretty sure I'm in. I'm gonna use my mirror and check it. It doesn't look like it's all the way in, so I'm gonna have to push it in a little bit more. Yeah, it's definitely not all the way in, so we're gonna push it in a little bit. Yep. Looks like we're in, guys. I guess it didn't make the popping noise that I was waiting for. But yeah, so right now, once you got all these in, I got the bottom hose, and we're in business, guys. And then we're gonna do this guy right here. Get the light on it. we go. So that takes this guy, and then there's a small connector from the junction box. Goes in kind of upside down situation. Slide the junction box in place, and then once you did that, a lot of people take the bracket off. I don't like to do that. It's kind of a pain in the ass to put it back on, so I just like to do it this way. It takes some effort to release the junction box, but once you have it, you're good. From here, we gotta put all the cables back on, all the connectors obviously. You cannot forget anything. If you do, like what I forgot. Found me one of these. I think the other one is still there. Okay, so now, yeah, I forgot the fuel line. Bad me. Alright, so now you got the intake manifold bolts, 11 foot-pounds, all Beamers. If you watch my videos, you know that. On these engines, I think BMW improved a lot, but on the N52Ns, they improved a lot more. Because on these, they still had the same, very similar setup that breaks all the time. But then, on the N52N, they upgraded, and that was a really good move, because they eliminated all these hoses, no vacuum leaks, you know, the typical BMW problem. And I think part of the vacuum resolution they did was getting rid of the dipstick, because that leaked a lot. Most of these Beamers leak at the dipstick, so they were like, you know what, we're gonna take it off, piss everybody off, but resolve the vacuum leak issue. So I guess that's kind of how they did it. So now again, 11 millimeter, zip these in and then torque them. After we do that, we're gonna smoke test it with my DIY evap smoke tester that I built. That was pretty interesting. So when you zip these in, if you're using one of these bad boys, make sure you don't torque on it, because what I'm doing right now, I'm just snugging them in. I think this is a 10 millimeter from the throttle body. They look similar. Okay, now we're gonna get a torque wrench, 132 inch-pounds or 11 foot-pounds or something in Newton meters. Look it up. Let's see, I guess I'll do the Newton meters for you guys. So 11 foot-pounds. Let's see. I can look it up, but this is fun. 10 foot-pounds is 1356 Newton meters. Okay. So a little bit more than that. Smoke the car through the throttle body, because that's how I smoked it in the first place. I was making huge amounts of smoke, and then once we smoke it and we get the okay, we'll go ahead and start it, make sure everything works right. Alright, so right now we're gonna put the throttle body back on, and then we'll just watch. Make sure everything's clean, and I'll show you how to clean it. I like to keep this on it before I put it back on. That way increase the chances of, because this almost never, like, you have to get it really good in there because it's plastic. It doesn't really, it's not very bendable, so it kind of gives you a hard time. But if you loosen, put silicone on it, this stuff, it will go in just fine. But what I like to do is keep this plastic boot on it. That way it doesn't give me a hard time later. And when you put it back on, make sure that this clamp is facing up. That way, if you have to go back in, you don't have to fight with the screw being back there. Because I've seen a lot of these, like way back here or down there, but it really has to be right here. This gasket is brand new as well, in case you're wondering. I'm going to go ahead and connect the throttle body cable or harness. See, this is what I'm talking about. It's in the way right now. So it's a 6mm. Suckers. Once you put these back on, this is what I'm working on right now. So once you put that back on, These throttle body bolts, you don't have to torque them too much. Snug is good. And then once you got that, I'm gonna redo this guy. I believe it's gonna have to be a stubby flat screwdriver. If you don't know stubby, this is it. It's short. Seems like almost every time I do a video, there's really loud noises outside. Don't know why, but I have to accept it. Alright, now we're gonna put the boot back on. And then from there, all we need is an mass airflow sensor to run the car. These guys, they just slide up. There should be one more. Alright, next we're going to put this boot back on. If you have any other model, is going to be probably a little different, slightly different boot and resonators and stuff like that. Here. And then you got these cables for the mass airflow sensor. They go this way. the magnet. One thing I learned from working on BMWs, you always need a magnet. Stuff fall down all the time. I can't stress that enough. All the time. It's kind of annoying, but you get used to it, being someone like me. Alright, so the rest of the bolts here are just cover bolts. We got this guy that we disconnected in the beginning. Make sure that's connected and clamped in and all the good stuff. Now we will need the mass, these 10 millimeters bolt in, and then the mass airflow, and we'll start. This is my DIY smoke machine. Super proud of it. Okay, now this guy goes into intake boots. Be very careful with the smoke machine if you make, especially if you make one yourself. Make sure the air is not too much. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and turn it on. Hopefully there's air left. I think there is. And I'm gonna turn my air in. It's pretty good. At least I can see it. And as you can see, there's no smoke coming out anywhere. So, you know he did a good job. Yeah, it's coming out of here, so we have a sealed system. I've done a zillion of these. Not a zillion, but you know, figure of speech. Done a good number of these to not mess anything up anymore. See how it goes. Before it was shaky and turns off and all kinds of things, especially when it's cold. So we're gonna really find out if we fix the issue. Make sure everything's clear. Alright. Moment of truth. Got some smoke coming out of there, but that has nothing to do with it. I'm imagining valve cover gasket or something, because the car's been turned off for a while. But yeah, seems to be running solid. We're gonna take it for a test drive, and then we're gonna call the customer, tell them to come pick it up. Should be all set, guys. Alright guys, so that was the starter and the CCV on the 325 E90 from 2006 only. I guess they made it in 2007 first few months, and then they returned They changed the CCV system to a better one feature. This is the BMW Doctor. If you haven't subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe. If you like the video, please hit the like button. If you have any questions, leave me a comment. I respond almost immediately. Also, if you don't like the video, you know what to do. I don't want you to do it, but if you do, please let me know why. I'll see you guys next time.